Everyone, Algorithm here from the right way, and I don't know if you've been following the story about Ahmaud Arbery in the US, who was shot and killed by a group of white people. So I thought we might have a look at this in case you haven't been following this story, because it kind of breaks the left-wing white supremacist narrative a little bit as well. So before we start, if you like the video, give it a thumbs up. If you don't like the video, you're welcome to give it a thumbs down, and please subscribe, as it just helps YouTube to notice my content as well. So basically, this person, Ahmaud Arbery, was gunned down for doing nothing other than jogging outside. And being conservative, I don't care what race the perpetrators are. If they've done something, they need to be found guilty of doing those particular things. If they were found to be not guilty, then that is fair enough if the evidence points to that. Now, this is an open and shut case of what I think is pure murder. So let's have a look at some of the details about this case. Gunman Travis McMichael was found guilty on the charge of malice murder, felony murder, aggravated assault, false imprisonment, and criminal attempt to commit a felony. His father, Gregory McMichael, was found guilty of felony murder, aggravated assault, false imprisonment, and criminal attempts to commit a felony. Neighbour William Roddy Bryan was found guilty of felony murder, aggravated assault, false imprisonment, and criminal attempt to commit felony as well. So obviously the mother is very happy about those particular verdicts being read, which is just awesome to see. And I know it doesn't bring back their son, but at least it might bring a little bit of sense of justice to them and maybe help them on the path of healing as well. Cooper Jones said she hoped the verdict will encourage other parents whose children have been murdered to keep fighting for justice. A lot of these families don't get justice, and my message to them is don't give up, keep pushing, keep fighting. I don't think you really had to fight much for this particular case, surely. The people were arrested that went for a trial and they were found guilty. So she said she found it was huge to have her son's killers finally convicted. So all of that was pretty good. So let's get on to some details about what actually happened in the case. So the conviction carries a minimum sentence of life in prison. It's up to the judge to decide whether that comes with or without the possibility of parole, and he's not set a date for sentencing. I'm really hoping that these people just get sent to life without parole. That's what they deserve. If there was a death penalty in that particular state, then I think they should get the death penalty personally, but they should be given life without parole. And hopefully they get that. So I don't think that they should be let out of jail. That's for sure. So where are the details of the case? It must be down in the article a bit further. So just talking about what happened when the verdicts were read out. I'm sure everyone was really happy and everything is said in that. So here we go. Here are the details about the case. On the day of Arbery's killing, father and son Gregory, 65, and Travis McMichael, 35, grabbed guns and jumped in a pickup truck to pursue the 25-year-old black jogger after seeing him running in the coastal suburb of Satilla Shores on February 23rd, 2020. Their neighbour, William Roddy Bryan, 52, joined the pursuit in his own pickup and recorded cell phone video of Travis McMichael fatally shooting Arbery. What disgusting human beings. They actually went after this person in pickup trucks and armed with guns. Leah Baker, 50, of Brunswick resident, said, "I'm so thankful, I'm grateful. This most definitely is the right verdict." So more talk about what's happened. Dun, dun, dun. So they talk about the jury a little bit as well, and it kind of breaks the left-wing narrative a little bit, if we can get to there. So after being sworn in more than 2 weeks ago, the disproportionately white jury heard from more than 24 witnesses. So apparently all of the jurors were white except for one black person. So hopefully people can stop saying there is systemic racism in America, because if there's systemic racism, there would not have been a guilty verdict on all counts against all three people, right? It was a majority white jury, so it only needed one person to disagree, and it could have been down the drain, basically. So it's good to see that there is no systemic racism in New Zealand, no matter what all of the left-wing nut jobs are actually saying, because that promotes their narrative. Sure, there might be cases of racism in America, but it is not systemic, right? We just don't have evidence which supports that. Not that I've seen anyway. Yes, there is racism in America, but it's not the system actually doing that, right? A lot of people just bring up systemic racism because they don't agree with a verdict, like the Kyle Rittenhouse trial, where it was a textbook case of self-defense, and actually there was no black people involved at all in that particular tragedy. Anyway, so we can see that all three people found guilty by a jury of peers. Majority of the jurors were white except for one black person. They still convicted these white people, who obviously must have been racist, because they went after this black person with no actual evidence or reason to do so. I'm glad they've been found with guilty. They need to be just thrown in jail and the key thrown away. Don't ever let them out of jail. So hopefully the judge will inflict that on these particular people. Anyway, that's kind of the gist of that particular case. So let me know what you think in the comment section. If you have any comments to make about this particular case, I would love to hear that. So if you like the video, give it a thumbs up. If you don't like it, give it a thumbs down. And hopefully I will catch you in the next video.